So hey all, welcome to 2024. This is the first vlog I'm recording as of the new year. Um, as far as how things are going, I had a good New Year's. I had a good holiday. It's been busy at work, but I don't know if that's just because it's a new year or if it's just because it's work. But things are going okay. I have some decisions I need to make that I've been putting off, and I'll talk about a little bit of that later. And some things I want to try to do this year. A lot of, hopefully, a lot of firsts, but we'll see. Um, we'll see what happens. But welcome to 2024, and it's kind of bizarre to think that it's actually 2024 now. But hopefully, everybody's having a good New Year and that things are going okay. And let's see. I guess we'll just get started. In writing news, I am still working on finishing Winterfall 2. I had hoped to have it completed by year's end, but clearly that didn't happen. It's not that far off. I have like 3 chapters left to finish, but I had hoped to complete it and start the new year with a fresh project, which also incidentally is a little behind because I'm still trying to figure out the outline. And I mean, if need be, I have other projects that I can work on, but I kind of really want to at least get to the point where I am at least semi-frequently working on this outline, and I can sort of put the pieces together a little bit at a time and get it where it needs to be so that by the time I need next project, I can get started on this series because I'd like to start it sooner rather than later. But it all kind of depends on a couple of factors. Um, let's see. In video news, I don't know exactly what I'm going to try to do today. I have a couple of projects I could work on. I will see if I can. I'm going to try and at least finish one project today. If I do more than that, we'll see. I might be able to do some audio recording for some of the other future projects. I know I need to figure out more of a, not exactly I guess a queue for non-review videos because I have more reviews than I can shake a stick at, honestly. I'm reading books pretty quickly, or at least quickly enough for me, and I think I'm well in advance of where I am, but with the writing videos, it's like I barely have a lead at all. And it's been kind of tricky to come up with new, fresh topics that I haven't talked about that I would like to talk about. And I'll see. I'm sure there's got to be other things. It's just, kind of like I eventually figured out, doing vlogs every other week helps keep the content flowing and helps keep me actively working on things and helps with everything. Because I know that things that make me nervous, if I avoid them, it really just makes it worse. So this is one of the reasons why I try and do certain things at certain times, just because that's the time that I work on these things, and then the more that I do them, the better and easier it gets. Um, but yeah, I mean, video news, like I said, we're probably going to be doing it relatively light today, at least one finished project, though, so we can maintain some level of progress, but we'll see exactly what ends up happening. Books I'm reading. I just finished Red Vixen Adventures number 5. I'm forgetting the specific title, but as usual, and I'm sure I'll get into this when I do the massive review of the entire project. It was really good. It kind of surprises me sometimes that, at least according to the author, that it's not planned. Uh, insofar as planned ahead long term, like I generally try to do, because it really kind of almost seems like there's a lot of things that just fit into place really well. Not. I mean, it's really, I don't know. There's certain things that you can only do in when you've gotten so far in a series with certain developments that pop up, and in this case, it definitely has. It works really well with the the exact scenario. I mean, not to say anything spoilery, but it really is hard almost to believe that it wasn't planned insofar as the way that it is, because it really kind of looks like it really, I don't know, it just kind of always seems to me like things just fit and come together really well. And maybe that's just the sign of somebody that's much better at winging it than I am. Um, or maybe perhaps not winging it, but at least not having a solid plan and letting the story kind of control where it goes. Because I mean, I kind of do a little bit of both. It's like, I know that I usually come to mind with a general arc for what I want the story to follow, and then kind of specifics as far as like character moments and sometimes what happens in each respective chapter just come on what I think that either I haven't done before so far yet in the series, or something that would make it interesting. And I don't know. It's been a really enjoyable series. That's just kind of right in tune with what I like about furry writing, and it's been really fun. And I still have another short novella, and I think a couple of short stories at the end to read, and I'll be finished with it. I think I may just keep going just to get it on my shelf, and then of course I'll probably read a couple of other things for a while before I tackle the next project from this author, because I know that I still want to read the Visitors, which I think is the prequel to the project I'm reading now. So I would like to get to that at some point. And other thing I'm reading is A Christmas Reunion by Todd Aldrington. I don't think I've ever read anything of his before. Um, I so far have been enjoying the two chapters that I read. It looks like it's not super long, but it also looks like it's I don't know. So far, I'm enjoying it. It's it's so far it's been a good Christmas story. It's a good um, I guess introduction to the two main characters, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. I mean, it's kind of hard to say much about it so far. Um, the two main characters haven't seen each other in a long time, and it's it's, I guess, in a, I don't know. I mean, I'll say so far that I have my impressions are positive, and it's not quite far enough along yet where I feel like I can give a really good assessment of it. But there's no red flags. I mean, it's so far I've enjoyed the writing style. I think it's pretty good. Suitably Christmas related for the title. Um, it's. I'm hoping to read it, do a review for it, and have it scheduled sometime around I guess the next Christmas, which probably will be not too hard to arrange. I mean, so far I like it. All I can really say at this point is that the characters have seemed to be pretty good to work with, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. There's just a couple of other quick things that I want to discuss real quick. One is that I'm going to try to make a concerted effort to watch what I eat this year, to because I would like to lose a little weight. I know it's something I've said in the past, but I would like to try and see if I can have a better weigh in when I go see my doctor, because I mean, I don't think there's necessarily any like issues at this point, but I'm sure it would help. Also, generally speaking, I mean, there's a lot of things that I am trying to I'm trying to work with my tendencies, or at least work with the tendencies that are helpful. because I know that a lot of times, when we eat things, we're not really hungry, or we tend to eat quickly, and we don't really enjoy the meal as much. And I mean, I've heard some things from the weight management program, and I don't want to say weight loss exactly because it wasn't really exactly about that, although that is the ultimate result. But it was something I signed up for at my work a couple of years ago, and it was talking about a couple of things that made a lot of sense. That it was talking about how it's like most people kind of inhale their food, that a lot of times we eat for reasons that don't have anything to do with actual hunger. There sometimes it's like we think we're hungry but we're really thirsty, things of that nature. And so I'm going to try to be more mindful of what I eat and when I eat it, and trying to avoid things like late night snacks or things that I just don't need unless I have the window to do it. Like if I have a salad, I can probably get away with a dessert or two or something. Just things like that. Go back to cutting down my soda intake to what I had previously limited myself to, which is like 2 a week. With, of course, rare exceptions, holidays, birthday, that sort of thing. I mean, ideally, it's not so much, and at least in my mind, I try and frame it not so much as withholding things from myself, but more making it special. It's like it's a treat when you get to have certain things. So that helps. And also, a lot of the times I find, at least so far in the 5 or 6 days since the new year has begun, that generally speaking, I don't really feel like I need. Um, I've been trying to avoid just random eating of things. And maybe in the long run, it'll, I mean, that alone may make a difference. Ideally, I'd like to start with losing 5 to 10 pounds. I would ideally like to go further than that, probably at least 20 to 25, but we'll see. One step at a time. We're gonna see if we can keep this up and just try to be, I guess, as good about how much I eat and what I eat and all that kind of stuff, and just sort of see if I can do something uh, in that direction. And maybe when I get to a weight that I'm happy with, then I can sort of like lighten up on the reins a little bit, because maintaining weight is a little bit different than losing weight. Because of course, losing weight, you need to eat calories at just a little bit of a deficit so that it gradually goes down, so your body burns fat instead of uh, whatever else you happen to be eating. And then when you're trying to maintain weight, then you have a little bit more flexibility insofar as calories. And it's like I got my Fitbit. It's like I've got I've been I've it may not, I don't know exactly, but it does make a difference for me insofar as being mindful of how much I'm moving, and tracking what I eat and tracking calories and stuff. I mean, obviously it's not an exact match because a lot of the things you enter, they're kind of a little bit of a guesstimate, but it at least gives you a guide as far as are you eating too much? Are you eating not enough? Which never usually seems to be a problem for me. Not like not like I overeat on purpose or anything, or even overeat in general. But it's just, I guess it's just mindfulness about being aware of certain things, and it in itself makes a difference. So we'll see. Part of it, I guess, is possibly future costume related stuff, but we'll see. And the last thing I want to talk about real quick is I have a decision I need to make pretty soon. It's like it was suggested by one of the folks in my writing group to potentially look at a furry publisher. And part of the reason for the delay, as far as why I haven't proceeded with publishing my next completed project, is because I was waiting on the cover artist, which I do need to get in touch with about that. I've kind of been putting that off a little bit, again, sort of because areas that I don't have familiarity with, I kind of end up being, procrastinating on, and perhaps more than I really want to. But I have to make a decision on whether or not I want to try and relearn self-publishing and self-publish my own books, or if I want to try and go to a furry publisher. There are pluses and minuses to both approaches. If you go to a furry publisher, They will probably take them to a lot more conventions than I would be able to get to. It would take longer for it to be completed. It would, uh, from what the author told me, they're relatively hands off, which I mean, it is fine. That was, I was kind of concerned about, what the process would be like, but mostly I guess it's a combination of, I know the very first time I was concerned about, like, having control over my work, because it takes a long time for me to complete projects, and I didn't want any of my stuff to be out of print if, for example, like, it just doesn't sell and they stop taking it to cons and then they just stop selling it. Well, if it's on Amazon and self-published, that's never a concern because I'm not going to take it off myself. I don't know if that's the kind of thing that happens. I don't know exactly how they make these decisions, but that was, or if it would even matter, because maybe if they stop publishing it under their imprint, I would still be allowed to publish it under my own. I don't know if that's a thing or not. But this is it's at some point though I'm going to have a cover relatively soon, and I'm going to need to figure out exactly what to do with it. And there's a lot of that, so I'm kind of it's one of those things that I suppose ultimately it's a decision I'll have to make myself, but it's just also one of those things that's going to require either way wading into uncharted territory, and that's not something I'm great at. Plus, January is a busy month, and there's a lot going on, and it's just been very, very taxing on my mental load. It's like there's a lot of things to think about. It's like it's like the parts about the writing process I enjoy the most, I think, are writing. Like the actual writing of it. It's getting the art and stuff. It's like the publishing, the editing, the outlining, all are necessary and sometimes they're fun, but when I don't make progress, it kind of feels a little bit anxiety inducing. And I guess maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to sort of get into a regular flow. I had hoped to be able to have something to sell for TFF to do Artist Alley, but I'm kind of wondering if that's a reasonable time frame at this point. I mean, obviously I've missed the point where it would be eligible for anything this year, but that was unavoidable because I wasn't going to have the cover in time anyway, and I'm not so much concerned about that right now. But I really wish Past Me had recorded notes for self-publication, but I did not at the time, just because I was kind of concerned about just getting it done, and that was in itself a little bit of a challenge. But I mean, for right now, I'm going to try and finish at least one more project this afternoon and see where I can go from there. But that's it for now, and I guess I will catch you all later.
If you like werewolves, check out my book Blue Moon, available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, click the subscribe button and leave a comment below. Meow.